Good morning, everyone. In case you're wondering, we're talking about Make in India here. What is this American company doing here in Make in India? Well, I'm not sure if all of you know, but our CEO is an Indian, Mr. Shantanu Narayan. And outside of the US, India is our largest development footprint that we have outside of the US. We've got about 8,000 engineers in Noida and Bangalore. And very soon we're going to be having newer R&D centers as well. But this is what our footprint is. And the product that I'm going to be talking about today is completely developed, tested, program managed by our Indian office in Noida and Bangalore. So we were already discussing about, there were some talks about COVID-19 and how it's created a lot of disruption. Excuse me, a lot of people went digital with COVID-19, but what has happened is a lot of behavior, employees' behavior, consumer behavior has changed because of COVID-19. We are buying food using a mobile app. We are booking cabs and autos using mobile apps. And then when you ask your employee to come to office and sign an offer letter on paper, they're wondering why is this company is still stuck in utilizing paper when everything else has digitized, right? And so that is what we're hoping to do and hoping to talk about. So engagements need to be digital first, whether it's internal engagement, whether it's HR onboarding, or whether it is even external customer onboarding workflows should also be digitized because that is what employees expect today, right? Times have changed now. The other thing is the workplace is hybrid. I'm not in all the sectors, but mostly in ITS sectors, we have seen a lot of hybrid workflows. A lot of people who prefer to work from home as well as to work from office. In fact, at Adobe, we have a policy of being in office for at least 3 days in a week, and we try and be as diligent with that. But the bottom line is that the workplace is hybrid. People want the freedom to work from anywhere, right? And the third thing is experience is everything now, right? The experience that you provide, youngsters that are joining your organizations are of a different mindset than when you and I were, starting up professionally. So their expectations are different. And you need to make sure that you meet those kind of expectations. So, and it's paying off as well. There are more than trillions of PDFs in emails, cloud, and web. In fact, Microsoft told us there are more PDF files in SharePoint than Microsoft files. That is how ubiquitous it has become, PDF. And a lot of businesses have also started using electronic signatures. We've got banks today using electronic signatures, NBFCs, we've got manufacturing companies, we've got ITS companies using electronic signatures with Aadhaar-based authentication, right? And also all of this data is also maintained within India itself. We're very much compliant with the Indian IT Act to ensure that all of our signing is within the jurisdiction of what is allowed within the Indian context. So documents drive business. All of this IP that you're developing, all of it is stored in documents. A lot of people think just because you can create a PDF, it's secure. Let me tell you, not all PDFs are the same. Adobe, about 10, 12 years ago, Adobe opened up the PDF specification. We said, you know what? 200 years from now, if Adobe is not there, right, you should still be able to open your documents if they are in PDF. And how are you going to do that? Because we have made the specification for PDF public. So anybody can create a reader and can develop their own reader and can consume that content and not be locked in. If you're storing everything in Word or Excel file, these are proprietary formats. Tomorrow, if Microsoft's not, I'm not hoping any ill will on them, but in case they're not around 200, 300 years from now, you will still be able to consume, you will not be able to consume their content. It's called the digital dark age. So one of the reasons we opened up PDF is so that it can be used for archival formats. And another issue that's coming up is because of that, a lot of people have started to provide PDF creators. There are many online websites allowing you to create PDFs. There are many, Microsoft Office also allows you to create PDFs. So there are many ways you can create PDFs, but not all PDFs are the same. What we are trying to do is, the way we create a PDF is a structured format. So there are different layers within a PDF. Most PDF authoring tools that are out there typically just have an image of your document. What we do is have it in a structured manner so that you can gain insights from them. We are helping an MSME, for example, who's doing breakthrough stuff in AI technology, and they have got a very interesting business model where they take university books and they digitize it, and then they use our APIs to extract the text from the scanned book copies, and they feed that to their AI engine. So if there's a book on chemistry, so they have an AI system, a model that will understand the subject and provide simplified, like in ChatGPT when you say, explain me, the theory of relativity, as if you were talking to a 3-year-old, right? So this is what they're doing, but for universities like MIT and MSME right here in India. And they've been using our APIs in order to make sure that documents are not just images, they can do a lot more with it. A lot of documents received in Outlook are also PDF files, and PDF is a container of intelligence. So we've got now APIs that can allow you to extract information from PDFs and utilize it to gain insights on how they're being consumed, or if there's any data that is relevant for you to use. And you can see our ecosystem there with Microsoft Dropbox, all CRM applications, CLM applications as well. We've got a complete ecosystem of connectors with all of these products to make sure that when your employees are working with these different applications, they don't have to juggle between taking it from here, taking it into another application. They can do everything within that application itself, right? That is what we're doing with all of our integrations here. So what we really want to do is make sure that throughout the journey, this is the journey of a document. It starts from inception, which is when you create the document, collaborate, analyze, audit. There should be a blockchain-like method in order to tell what has transpired in the document, and if there's any additional actions that you want to apply onto the document, you should be able to do that, like analyze, archive and audit, or collaborate for reviews and things like that. So if you look at this, this is a typical workflow in any organization. All of you, you've got your sales, finance, legal, procurement, IT, different LOBs within any organization. Now, most of these guys using them typically, one second. Yeah, so some of these are internal and some of these are external. So the way that Acrobat can help you with all of this is, well, Adobe invented PDF. And so when we're creating PDFs, we spend millions and millions of dollars to ensure that we update it from security standpoint. I have some stats on how people who have not used our Adobe tools to create PDFs, how they are being susceptible to a lot of hacks and things like that, and issues with theft of IP. And then compliance is another issue. Most of you are from, if you are, for example, providing drugs to America, FDA has very, very strict regulations. I know a lot of companies here who pay a lot of fees to FDA because they haven't complied in some way or the other. So US, for example, when it comes to accessibility, they're very, very big on accessibility. India doesn't care much about accessibility, unfortunately, but US does. So all the content that you're creating, PDFs that are being sent to US need to be accessible. Otherwise, you're going to be levied fines and things like that. So certain industry verticals have this requirement of having documents that are accessible so that everyone can consume it. Collaboration is also very important. If you look at various departments within any organization, you typically have, so some departments, like we know sales, HR,
legal typically use Acrobat. They see many features within Acrobat. But many of the other departments in your organization might be using a lot of these PDF clones or these free online tools. You don't know what's going on with these online tools. You don't know if they're saving your PDFs, extracting the information from there. There's no way for you to tell. And that is why what you want to make sure is you want to make sure you standardize on Acrobat throughout your organization so that whatever PDFs you're creating are compliant and secure. So you can sleep well at night. Icing on the top here, if you are a Microsoft, if you've invested in Microsoft, and you have all of the Microsoft goodness, then we've got integrations with all the Microsoft applications, whether SharePoint, OneDrive, Office, you name it. And the other thing that we've done is to add another layer of security for your documents. We've also enabled Microsoft Purview Information Protection, which is a feature added to a lot of the Microsoft stack about a few months ago. And now, when you're creating PDFs as well, you can ensure that it stays compliant with Microsoft Purview. So this is what happens if you are not compliant. There's, as per an IBM report, $4.2 million per incident is the cost of a data breach. 155 million individuals were affected by data exposures. All of this is purely because they're not creating content that's compliant and secure. And that is what we're trying to fix here. And you can see the additional stats also there, and this is all cited from various research articles that we've listed there. So this is why, our position, our pitch here is for Acrobat. As you can see, Acrobat has a range of different ways in which you can use it on mobile, on tablet, on desktop. It's across different services. And it also has encryption and sandboxing, redaction to ensure that your data is safe, right? And there's also, Adobe is a very transparent company. We are a publicly listed company as well. So the last thing we want is one of our customers to have some sort of a security breach, which will, and that's one of the reasons why we've stayed relevant for 40 years in tech, is because we've ensured that our customers are protected and secure throughout their journey of using our applications. When you have a disconnected tech, where you have these different PDF free online tools and these PDF clone applications, you lose the fluidity in your workflows. As you can see there, it's a very disjointed, disconnected kind of a workflow. And that's got its own repercussions. But if you're going to be using the Adobe and Microsoft stack, then you can make sure that everything is collaborative, everything is integrated. You provide a better employee experience. Your employees are going to be, feeling a lot more better about working with you. And also, many employees want to be able to do more on mobile devices as well. We're enabling that as well, along with enough insights for you. So as an IT admin, for example, you should be able to tell what data has been shared by whom at what point. So we're giving you that kind of visibility as well so that your data remains more secure. And this additional stats as well. So using this with the Microsoft integration, you can save up to 43 hours. We are now working with a collections team of one of the national banks in India for the collections, a loan collections team. And there's a lot of paperwork that's involved there, meeting with customers. So we have digitized the entire thing using and they actually showed us a picture of their Mumbai office, the office conference room covered with stacks and stacks of paper, completely packed. And now with this digitization move, all of that is going to be taken care of. Security is something that we spoke about. And so, like I mentioned earlier, 155 million individuals were affected by data exposures. So with Acrobat, you're getting the best in class in terms of security, and we keep updating Acrobat. I know a lot of people say, why are there so many updates to Acrobat? Well, because the world is changing at a much faster rate, and we want to make sure you're secure. And so that's one of the reasons why we constantly, and that's why we moved. A lot of people ask, why did Adobe move to the subscription model? What was wrong with selling boxes like we did before? But again, we're living in a day and age, and I'm sure all of you will agree, technology is changing much faster today than it was about 10 or 15 years ago. And to keep up with that, we came up with this SaaS-based model, and now everybody else has now come up with the same. And after Howard made a case study on Adobe's cloud services, cloud subscription model, a lot of companies have also started to do it. which is great. Compliance. So there are certain compliances. If you're in the finance vertical, there's PCI, FedRAMP. If you're in India, there's IT Act around electronic signatures, digital signatures. So we make sure that whatever solutions we are providing to our customers are compliant in every way possible. The experience that we're providing to the end user, there's a reason why some like maybe Uber is better than, some people find Uber better than Ola, or some people find Swiggy better than Zomato. So it's all about that experience. The product is the same. The service is the same. It's taking you from A to B. What is what differs is the experience that you get, right? And that is what matters. And a lot of your employees are using these apps, and they're used to that experience. So they want to have that same experience with work as well. And that is exactly what we're trying to do with all of our Acrobat and Document Cloud products. And of course, the last thing is about productivity and collaboration also. People are not working in silos anymore. Sales wants to collaborate with marketing, wants to collaborate with legal, wants to collaborate with different teams internally. So how do you enable that? And now with having the cloud model, so you can now store all the documents in a single repository and then share it with anyone. Now for those of you who are thinking, I'm in a regulated segment, I can't use the cloud because I need to be, everything needs to be on-premise. So we also have a version of all of our applications, a feature-restricted version, which only works on-premise. So there's no cloud connectivity. You don't have to worry about any data going to the cloud. It'll all remain within your intranet. So depending on your use case, your industry vertical, you can pick the right solution for you. And the last thing is interoperability, working with different applications and tools, and we've got plugins with all of those. So that is what I wanted to share really quickly with all of you and leave you with that thought. My colleague Nirmal is here as well as I'm going to be here. If any of you have questions, please feel free to catch us during lunch, or else you can just send out a mail to Nirmal right there. So on that note, have a great rest of the evening. Thank you so much, everybody, for your time. Thank you.